Hi, I'm Chaim Goldman, executive producer and host of The Peak News, and welcome to journalism's Code of Ethics. In this series, we are going to be reviewing one by one the 35 points of the Society for Professional Journalists Code of Ethics, first published 100 years ago in 1926 and last revised in 2014. Ethics are absolutely crucial in journalism, and yet that standard is missing in so much of the media, even what is called journalism. We here at the Peak News, as a hyperlocal news source and a citizen journalist organization, are committed to restoring trust back into journalism, especially here on our local level in the Pikes Peak region. And so I've realized that in order to do that, not only do we need to practice it, but our community needs to understand that these principles actually exist. Very often when I say journalistic ethics, people say, is that a thing? And I say, yeah, it's supposed to be, but I understand why you would ask that question. We have to be ethical in this. In fact, this form of communication called journalism demands it. It's not opinion. It's not headline news where we can just spout out facts. It's not advertising and it's not advocacy, it's journalism. And so it requires this ethical standard. In order to bring it back, we need you as the public to understand that it's there and demand this of our journalists in our local area, in our state, in our nation, even around the world. We must be consumers who demand it. But if we don't understand that it's even supposed to be there, if this is a forgotten standard, really a sacred duty of journalists, then you're just going to take what you get. I'm going to take what I get. But I realized many years ago, since I am a professional communicator and journalist, that things were really failing. And so I started to put mechanisms in place to build the Peak News. And then, as of recently, the past couple of years, people have really realized that we need citizen journalists, we need alternative news, but what we don't need are influencers or those who are going after clicks. We need those who are free to tell the stories that they want to tell, that they're passionate to tell in a local community without an organization that is going to tell them what they can and can't say other than following the standards, but also to have an organization that's watching out for them, that is helping them and is training them. And that's one of the major functions that we do here at the Peak News, which is education. And at the end of this episode, I'm going to tell you how you as an adult or even as a youth can be trained by the Peak News and the Peak News Academy so that you can be part of our platform. We're going to be going and doing a dive into each one of those as we go through these episodes, but I want to let you know overall there are 4 major categories that these ethics fall into. First is seek truth and report it. Secondly, minimize harm. Thirdly, act independently. And fourthly, be accountable and transparent. We need to seek truth and report it because that is the major function of bringing that information out. Ethical journalism should be accurate and fair. Journalists should be honest and courageous in gathering, reporting, and interpreting information. Minimizing harm we need to do because sources, subjects, colleagues, and members of the public are human beings, and everyone is due that respect, even if they're guilty of something. Acting independently, probably the most important thing that we do. The highest and primary obligation of ethical journalism is to serve the public, no one else, not ourselves, not any special interests. And fourthly, being accountable and transparent. Ethical journalism means taking responsibility for one's work and explaining one's decisions to the public. That accountability and transparency is something that we provide to the public and something that we must inspect ourselves. If we're not accountable, if we're not transparent, how in the world can we provide that service, that duty that responsibility, fulfill that responsibility to the public? The answer is we can't. And that is why big journalism especially has been so insular to tell us whatever it wants without that accountability and without that transparency. This is not a set of rules, as it states here in the Code of Ethics. Rather, a guide that encourages all who engage in journalism to take responsibility for the information they provide, regardless of the medium. Because of the First Amendment and free speech, because of the protection of the press, there is no government, there is no police force, there's not even an organization that can enforce these ethics. We must take them on personally. We must commit to them personally, and we have done that here at the Peak News. And we invite you to not just go through this series and get educated, but to join us at the Peak News through our educational foundation, the Peak News Academy. We put on citizen journalist courses, and please go on our website, thepeak.news, go to the citizen journalism page and sign up if you're local in the Pikes Peak region for our next class. And something we're especially excited about is for the 26-27 school year, we are launching a homeschool enrichment program, 2 full semesters, training up youth, 7th through 12th grade, to be ethical journalists, to learn how to tell stories, to learn how to be ethical, technically proficient in many forms of communication, and knowing the business and legal side, and then being interns with us on our platform from day one. If you have a student who is interested in communicating in any way, not just becoming a professional journalist, but any profession where you need to research accurately, think critically, and communicate ethically and clearly, which I think is every profession, then please have them join us for a year. Go to our website, thepeak.news/academy, and all the information is there. Especially those who think different, because we say the quiet stuff out loud, as my button says, that's our motto, and we want people who think different, and that includes those in the neurodivergent community. I'm in that community and found that we make great reporters for a lot of reasons. And so if your child or if you identify as such, please check us out. We really want you to join us. Lastly, please subscribe wherever you are listening to or watching this. Please subscribe so that we can notify you when each new episode comes out. And also, we will provide you with special access to a page on our website where you can get this code of ethics as well as other support materials so that you can at least be an educated consumer of the media and may very well become some kind of reporter or bringer of truth yourself. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman for the Peak News, thanking you for joining us in this series, and we'll see you in the next episode, episode number 1, which is Take Responsibility for the Accuracy of Your Work. Thank you for joining us. See you on the next episode.